Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of the Crystallized Experience with Crystal. I am Crystal, and I want to speak to you all today about healing. I want to say hello and happy new year. This is actually my first episode of the new year, and I'm really excited about it. It's January the 10th, 2022. And it is a beautiful, beautiful Monday. And I wanted to speak with you all about healing. God's been dealing with me on healing. I found out quite a few days and nights have gone by here lately where I've woken up in the middle of the night and He's been dealing with me on prior hurts. God and I speak very clearly in the middle of the night. He will wake me up to speak with me. Obviously, I'm quite busy during the day, or I have handled something, or I've done something, or something. He knows that he gets my full attention at about 2:33 a.m. in the morning. And lately, I have woken up multiple times throughout the night to deal with something that I thought I had already dealt with. I thought I had already dealt with. So, prime example, the other night I woke up and I was crying in my sleep. And I was crying about a situation that occurred about 3 or 4 years ago, maybe even 5 years ago, and I had forgotten about it. But it was as clear as me sitting right here, right now. I was able to actually recall the exact events that happened at the time. I could feel the pain as though it was happening at the very moment. I could see myself watching myself go through the hurt, watching myself in the very situation or the moment in which I accepted this situation, this pain. And I was crying. And I sat up and I said, okay, God, well, what is that? Now, this has happened to me multiple times. I lived in North Carolina about in 2002, 2001, 2002, right after my mother passed. A little bit after that, I had gotten married and we actually moved away from Louisiana. We moved to North Carolina. And while I was in North Carolina, I dealt with a lot of healing. I did a lot of healing out there. I did a lot of forgiving. I was, at the time, newly saved, and I was honeymooning with the Lord. And so I did a lot of healing. So I was waking up in the middle of the night. I would be crying, or I would have situations that had occurred many years prior to, and these things would literally play out in front of me. And I would almost be like, what is going on? And I would cry and I would purge, and then I would feel better. God and I would talk about it. I would ask Him to help me, and it would just I would feel better, and I was able to actually speak about the situation after that to anyone who needed help with that particular situation. Fast forward, as I grew in Christ, I began to go into my prayer closet and sit along with scripture, sit along with prayer, sit along with meditation, and just speak with God about what was really going on with me, and helping me purge whatever was going on, or whatever I felt was out of line, or asking Him to show me what was out of line in my life where I was wrong, because I'm wrong daily. I'm wrong weekly, I'm wrong monthly, I'm wrong multiple times because I am created in sin. So I'm flesh. Our flesh is weak, and so um, we will do things even subconsciously, having to realign your thoughts at times. So I began to go into my closet and literally lay on my face and pray and ask God to purge me, help me to heal, help me to be a better person, help me to manage my thoughts, manage my actions, manage my ability to cause someone else to stumble, um, manage my anger, and that worked well for a while. And then as more and more things began to happen to me, I said, okay, I can no longer do this alone. And so I seeked therapy. And so when I went and found a therapist that was biblically based, as well as that I truly trusted with my healing, because I knew that I was a tough cookie, and that because I have worked in the profession of mental health for over 17 years at this point, I was going to be a little bit tougher. And she did too. She was concerned that maybe I would not necessarily be as committed to the process because of my experience. Well, I was very committed to the process because I truly wanted to be healed, and I truly wanted to please God. And I didn't want to be making decisions or more mistakes because of this. I want to these unhealed wounds in my heart. I didn't want any unforgiveness in my heart. I didn't want to be walking around ignorantly broken. It's one thing when you're broken and you know it. You can acknowledge it and you can say, I'm working towards that. That's something very important to me and I'm moving forward in that area. But when you are unknowingly walking around broken, you just keep breaking other people. When you are literally unknowingly bleeding, you continuously bleed on other people. When you're walking around in ignorant bliss, angry, mad, sad, busted, and disgusted, you literally hand that off to whoever may be in your vicinity. Well, I didn't want to do that. So I have some very important people in my life, my children. At the time, my husband. At the time, my family. I did not want to do that. I wanted to be better for all of them. But what I found in therapy is that I needed to be better for me first. And until I could really get better for me, I couldn't be anything for anyone else. I also found that I knew that from church and from reading the word and listening to sermon and coming and serving, that if I truly could not be better for myself, then I could not be better or in any way effective in the kingdom. And so I was very particular about therapy. I went through about 2.5 years, almost 3 years of therapy. We're having one break right around the time of my sister's passing. It was right afterwards. I took a break, just scheduling and things of that nature, and just really not being able to get up was tough. Depression is real. We went back in, we hit it hard. We had to start all the way over, full-fledged new psych eval, because I was now dealing with a totally different situation. When I first came to her, I was healing from betrayals and childhood issues, self-esteem issues, weight issues, things of that nature. But by the time I actually came back, then now there's grief again, a fresh new grief. And then there's also managing a new life and what's best, and managing how to handle that with your family. So, and then how to handle grief with your children, how to deal with divorce. So when I came back, she was like, well, we got to start over. We got to go from the bottom and come back up, because now you have added on layers. And so we began to go through multiple different things. And in the course of this, we've looked at healing being like a onion, and all the different layers that you pull back. One of the things she actually spoke to me about was about a ball of yarn. I was a ball of yarn when she met me. She said that I could see you working really hard to try to get one piece of loose. And when you work, you get that one little red piece of loose, and right at the end of it is hooked onto a yellow piece. And the second you think you got that red piece loose, you tied it, a knot forms right there with the yellow piece that was tied to the green piece that was on the purple piece. And there you go, with a whole nother situation. But you pull so long to get out of this one, just to end up back over here in this. I look at my life as a spider web sometimes, that I just want to get out of the spider web, that every time I go, I end up in something else. And so I had to be careful, and I had to stop. And I knew that as a Christian, things are going to continue to happen. They are. It's inevitable. Especially when you have a calling on your life. Things are going to continue to happen. And so I began to journal. Gone through lots of not necessarily loss of a home, but we moved, multiple different things. Just change has been it's very difficult for me. I do not like change. I'm very, very bad with change. Change is something that has to happen with me gradually. If it hits me, I can't take it. So what God began to do with me is he literally started hitting me back to back. He's like, either you're going to get ready for it, either you're going to get yourself together, get hit and get back up, or I'm going to keep hitting you with it until you get yourself together. Because you're going to have to learn how to heal quickly to go where I'm trying to take you. It was tough for me, and it's still been tough for me. I'm not saying that I'm by far where I need to be, but I'm a lot better than I used to be. Because what used to take me months, even years to overcome, now I've seen myself sitting it maybe a day or two, a couple hours, get back up and keep rolling. T.D. Jakes talks about being ready. You don't have an opportunity to sit in anything. You've got to get up and go. I have a cousin who spoke to me out in the dance studio, and we had a couple of really beautiful recitals. And at the end of them, I was so excited about it, and it stuck with me for years, still with me today. I was so excited. Oh my God, this is so great. Everybody loved it. Everybody. He's like, okay, go, cool. That's fine. But now, don't get too excited. You need to be now preparing for next year. Like tonight, when you go home, you need to be looking at this recital and how you can make sure the next recital is better. Don't ever get complacent in this. So, at one point I was like, well, you can't let me just be happy right now. And he was like, that's cute. But if you get too happy right now, you're going to miss what's really going on in your life. And I didn't, at the time I didn't understand, but now I do. I totally do. I understood better closer to that time period too, and I used it as well. So just understanding that if you can't get too distracted in happiness or sadness, because the enemy's waiting for you just to have your head down at any point. So healing is so important. Whether you're having a good time or a bad time, you need to be focused and never distracted by what's happening in your life, because there's something coming right behind it. And if you got your head down, you're not going to be prepared. So that's why healing is so very important. So when God comes to you, first you ask for it. You ask for it. You speak with God about healing. You ask Him to help you to overcome grief. You ask Him to help you overcome heartbreak. He asks you to help you overcome betrayals, trust issues, misuse, self-esteem issues, whatever it may be, so that when He's ready to use you, you are actually ready to be used. Because if you're still battling those things heavy, you won't be effective, because you may cause someone else to stumble because you're truly not healed in that area. I've had some situations here happen to me over the last 2 or 3 months, or actually 1 month, that I've had to utilize all my healing and had to tell someone that you will be okay, and let me show you how you're going to be okay. So I was actually able to explain to them how God brought me through some things and showed me, and I've been exactly where they are, or even lower, where what they're going through right now is not a surprise to God. It's not a it didn't just happen to them. It was intentional, and that He wants to use it, even down to relationships. Understanding that He's going to keep taking you through multiple relationships that don't work out until you realize that He's the only one who's going to get the glory. So if you spend any time trying to give too much glory to anybody else, whether it's your spouse, your girlfriend, your boo, your job, your church, your organization, your children, He's going to come for that. So you have to be careful. You have to make sure that you're healing in those areas so that you are productive. So, and even in healing, let's say even with relationships, healing even causes you not to be codependent in your relationships, so that you don't have to have someone to be okay. It's okay to want them. It's okay to want someone. It's okay to want something, but not necessarily need it to be okay. So healing is so important, because you need to be okay. You need to be able to hear God. You need to be able to be effective in whatever it is that He's asking you to do, because it may be someone's life or death if you're not ready. If He said, if you say, send me, God, send me, I'll go. I'm ready at all times. And then He sends you and you're not ready because you're not healed, and you mess around and say the wrong thing and do the wrong thing, show them the wrong thing, express to them the wrong, not express to them the wrong thing, actually do something in front of them that causes them to no longer really believe in you. You have to be careful. Believe in what you're saying. You have to show them that God has truly shown me grace and mercy, that He could have truly taken me out of here for the things that I've done. He could truly take me out of here just for the doubt that I've had, even in the moments of despair. That He could have taken me out of here for taking so long to get it. It's multiple things that healing actually helps you with. One of the things I absolutely love to express is that I am learning how to be more humble. Now, some people may say, oh, whatever. I don't know about that with humble for Crystal, because Crystal is extremely outspoken. But I'm learning to use my words properly. We spoke about that in the last one, as well as understanding that being meek, mild, and humble is an expression of power being under control. Because I know that I am extremely powerful, not mighty, but that my words, my actions, my facial expressions, my body language, everything speaks volumes because of the anointing that I have. And so since I do have that, I have to be very careful and maintain meekness, because it is power under control. And if you misuse your power and it's not under control, it can truly cause long-term effects that you may regret later. I am so grateful that God has blessed me to be able to see these things, because and go to Him. I have learned to journal. I have entries now that are longer than I don't know what. Like, I was rereading one of my entries today, just about how I was asking God to help me be a better person to be around. I said, if you would just help me to be able to focus and have the attitude to be positive company for people. I don't always want to be the one who's so low and down and upset and hurt. I had a guy tell me, he was like, hey, something in you was just not as it used to be, and I don't understand it. And the last time that I knew you and last time that I saw you, you were a very happy, jovial person. And now when I see you, you're still very happy and nice and beautiful smile. But at the same time, it's something about your light that's a little different. And that bothered me. And I immediately went and said, God, I need you to help me to heal. Because I do not want to portray that. Not for just people, but for the kingdom. Because if I say I'm a Christian and I'm a child of God, then how am I walking around with my shoulders down, my head down, and my eyes low? Because He has given me so much. I owe Him to represent His glory, to represent His kingdom in all these big old red cheeks and happiness and big old smile and glowing eyes, and present something that I think will be pleasing to Him. So what I don't ever want to do is to say I am a Christian and saved by grace, but then walk with my shoulders down. Man, I have all kinds of stuff happen to me on a daily. That doesn't give me the right to give up. I got to get up and heal, because God says He heals the brokenhearted and He binds up their wounds. Like, I understand that so much better now, that as I'm broken, He's already there ready to heal it. I just got to be open to it. So what I want you to do is to challenge yourself this year in 2022, really to work on healing some of the things that you don't really know. So take your paper, find you a notebook. Mine is glittery because I'm glittery. Find you a nice notebook. It's my 2022 notebook. And just begin to write. I don't know if y'all can see that, but if you just begin to write, I began to write, and it just turned into pages after pages. And I didn't realize I had so much to say. I did know I had a lot to say. I just didn't know I had that much to say. And as I reread them from time to time, I find out I didn't even realize I was feeling that. And it helps me to see that I am healing from that, because that what I wrote that day, even if it was last week, last month, I don't feel that anymore. And I'm so grateful that I feel better and that I'm progressing. Now, don't be fooled that even in the midst of that something won't happen and I can't almost get knocked down again. But now I'm more aware. And what used to, like I said, keep me down for a long time, it only give moments, baby. We only giving moments in 2022. We only giving moments to these things. We refuse to waste any more time on frustration. And He's been too good to us. So I urge you to heal. I heard you to seek out healing. Healing is not just because somebody did you wrong. Some of it is your perception. Some of it is old things that have happened to you or that you thought happened to you. There's a story that somebody may have told you and you've been holding a grudge with a family member that you don't even know, you weren't even there. You may have been too young to even understand what was happening at the time. Be mindful of what you hold on to. Release that. Let it go. Move forward in your life. Love. Give love. Show love. Be available to love. What I found is my words are very abrupt because I think in the wavelength of, why would I waste my time beating around the bush? Why can't I just go ahead and say it so we can deal with it? But everybody doesn't like that. So I have had to find ways to say things better, because I've even asked questions and immediately the response is, wait, that's not what and I'm like, no, that's not what I mean. I mean, no, seriously, like, what made you do that today? Because you didn't know that at the moment that you reached out to me, I was crying. And so I'm just asking, like, God is really, truly, when I ask for help, he's sending it immediately. He is right on it. And if I'm down, he's sending help so quickly. His angels are showing up out of nowhere. And I'm like, I haven't spoken to these people in 2-3 months, a year. And all of a sudden, you call me at a moment where I've asked God, I'm lonely, God. I don't understand, God. Help me. And then I get a phone call. And it's like, or a text. And it's like, how did you know? And because of how abrupt I've been over my life, people have been kind of like standoffish, like, well, no, well, look, no. So now I'm having to go back in and correct those things with meekness, humbleness, softness, and say, no, what I'm saying is, what made you call me? Because I was really needing to talk to you. So just know that healing is very important, and that God is very close, and that he loves you with everything in you. Everything in him is everything he wants in you. He wants to give you all of his love, all of his mercy, all of his grace. He is begging you, standing beside you, saying, I'm just waiting for you to give it to me so that I can heal that part of you that has been wreaking havoc on you for so long. Hey, so just remember that God is very close. He's never far away. And he wants to heal you. Allow him to heal you. Find you some scripture. Get into the word. Mark 5:34. And he said unto her, daughter, that faith has made you whole. Go in peace and be whole of thy plagues. Revelations 21:4. And God shall wipe away all the tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow or crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. And that right there, all things are passed away, so I can heal. I can go every day. I get up, it's new. Why would I keep taking old stuff into new situations? One of our pastors used to always preach about, you cannot put new wine in old wineskins. You can't do it. It's going to bust. You're going to have to get new wineskins. So every day he gives you new grace, gives you new mercy. So you get up and do it again every day. And you try to give every day its due and not take yesterday into tomorrow, because tomorrow has its own troubles. So take you some time. If it's journaling, if it's meditating, if it's taking a walk, if it's having a conversation with someone to clear the air, if it's just telling someone how much you love them, whatever it may be, heal so that you don't hurt anyone else. Like I always say, we doing this thing in moments, baby. Moments, not days. Moments, not weeks, and we sure ain't doing no months, honey. Thanks for spending this time with me. Crystallized Experience has now recorded for the first one of 2022. It's fixing to go down, y'all. We rocking, baby. 2022 is about to happen. I hope you're ready. You better put your seatbelt on, because we about to roll. See y'all soon. I love you.